realize what you have to do. In this world, we're literally going to be winning or we're going to be losing. And what makes the difference? Like I've talked about this before, but I want you to realize there are going to be days where you're just not going to want to do the certain things. I just got done doing 250 burpees. And after like the first set, my knee started hurting. I woke up this morning and I'm like, dude, I'm tired, man. I'm fucking tired, dude. There's days like where I like that, where I'm like, how long am I gonna do this? Waking up at 3 a.m. and getting after it. I'm like, it sometimes gets a lot, especially sometimes. I'm not saying I don't see results, but sometimes you're just like, man, I'm putting all this effort in there, man. Like, you'd think I would see these drastic results, right? Sometimes that's how you might feel too. You might feel like you're putting all this effort into the gym. You're going to the gym, going to the gym, going to the gym. You're not really seeing certain like aspects of the results that you want. Like, what are you doing wrong? What could you be doing better, right? And see, that's when we start getting this flawed perspective of like, we should be seeing results. We should be seeing results. Yes and no, I look back at a picture of 2018, which is like 5 years ago, of me bodybuilding, and I was massive. And it took me a while to get to that place. It took me a while to get to that size. And as I'm doing these burpees, the first set, second set are always the toughest set, man. My body's aching. I haven't taken a day off in a while. So you start feeling like it's like war. You have to understand, you realize one thing, all right, man? Realize one thing. We don't get tough because we do things that make us feel good. We become tough because we do things that are fucking difficult. We become strong because we do things that are heavy. All right? We do things that are heavy on our body and our mind. And so if you want to become somebody, if you want to be respected, then you must do things that make you respectable. And the only way we are respected is by doing things that are difficult. Nobody respects a man that takes the easy road. As I was talking to one of my good friends this weekend, I'm like, he wants to start fighting a little bit more. He wants to do certain things. In my head, I'm like, you want respect. You want to respect yourself. You want to become tough. You want that look in your eye. And it's a look that a lot of my friends have always told me, Alex, anytime I go out, people are like, Alex, you look like you're always ready to fight somebody. And to me, it's not that I am always ready to fight, but I'm always ready to defend. Because again, growing up, I got bullied, I got picked on. I was always looking to like run away or do certain things that would protect myself. And so when I go out, I'm always looking for danger. This is who I am. I'm always looking for danger. I'm always looking for what's going on. And I got that look in my eye where it's like, I'm willing to fucking die on my shield. And that's just how I learned to raise myself. I'm not saying that's how my father raised me. I learned to raise myself. And that's the most beautiful thing about YouTube. That's the most beautiful I discovered YouTube when I was a kid, when I was like 13, 14 years old, 15, something like that. And it was probably one of the best things ever because I got to see people that I wanted to be like. I saw a lot of UFC fighters, I saw a lot of boxers, and I saw jiu-jitsu. I learned so much. I learned so much about who I wanted to become and who I wanted to be. There's certain shows like Supernatural. If you don't know Supernatural, go check out Supernatural. Two brothers who go on an adventure to save their father, and they're battling demons and things like that, which I thought was pretty crazy, right? They're battling demons. And I always looked up to Dean. I never really had an older brother. Like I have my brother, and he's older than me, but it's a little different. And so I always looked up to like characters like Dean from Supernatural because he was always a leader. They were always traveling in this car. They were always going to fight things. They were always fighting things. And then I saw a movie called Never Back Down. Never Back Down is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Never Back Down because it was this guy who just, again, got his ass whooped and said, I'm going to learn how to fight. And he fought for a girl, and he fought for a bigger reason, bigger purpose. And I've always loved that movie. And so you realize that any movie that you've ever watched that you admire the character, they've all gone through trials and tribulations. It's this hero's journey. It's you realizing that the only way to gain the respect that we all men want. I don't care. All men want to feel respected. We all want to feel respected because it's in our DNA. And the truth is, like, what we see around us sometimes can conform us. can censor us. And you have to be very careful that you're not being censored by the people around you. If you see a fighting movie, if you see a movie of warriors, if you see something like, or these videos, you might follow me. I don't really post a lot of my workouts here. I speak a lot. If you wanted to see more of my training and things like that, you can go follow me on Instagram or TikTok. But even then, realize if you see somebody and you admire the way they think, the way they look, the way they act, understand that if you don't see that very often, that means they're doing things that most people don't do. And discipline is one of the best things you could ever learn to practice on a daily basis because it turns you into who you really want to become. Realize that in order for you to be the man that you want to respect and be proud of and walk around with your chest high, your chin high, not in an arrogant, cocky way, but in a confident, like with a good ego, a sense of like, I'm here to serve other people because I put so much work into myself. That's why I can do these videos, because I feel confident in myself and what I do and putting in the work that I can bring some knowledge to you guys. If you can wake up and think, how can I respect myself today? How can I respect myself today? That's the stepping stone to creating a better version of yourself. What can I do today, or how can I respect myself today? Who do I respect? Do I respect a man that sleeps in, or do I respect a man that wakes up early? Do I respect a man that eats on a strict diet because he limits his food, he limits his desires, because he knows it's not about how you feel during that meal, it's about how you feel after that meal, because that is what delayed gratification is. All right? If you're focused on solely feeling good now, you will always chase that instant pleasure, that instant gratification, which later turns into delayed pain. And realize, just because you don't have the best role models around you does not mean you can't listen, you can't look up to other people that are not there. You can watch this video, you can listen to my words and take them with you the rest of the day. And that's why it's so important in the beginning of the day to make the morning the hardest part of your day. The hardest part. Because if you can set the tone of the day in the beginning of the morning, very difficult, everything else becomes a breeze. Everything else becomes easier because you started so hard. Early wake-up time, praying to God. Is praying to God hard? Praying to God is not hard, but it's a sense of, I'm going to make time for somebody that maybe I might not be able to see in person around now, and I can't really see them physically, but I know mentally and spiritually I can feel them. See, a lot of people don't make time for God because they can't really speak to him. They feel like, I can't hear God. So they almost feel like they're talking to themselves, So they're like, I'm not going to, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't make time for God because they're like, I'll pray to him, but I'll move on with my life. It's not that important. But when you take the time to actually be with him and spend time with him and pray to him and spend, like, even if it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that's a lot. It's a good time. Even still is not a good time, but you know what I'm saying? And so understand that doing these things, like early wake up time, the prayer, and then jumping right into a workout. Like usually I'll go and work out and lift, or I'll do these burpees. Today I decided to do 250 burpees, and I'm like, this is difficult, man. But this is what makes me who I want to be. A man that I respect, a man that I admire, a man that can walk into a room and feel proud of who he is and doesn't have to hide the things that he does in life. Because what he does is something that he's willing to tell the whole world. I'm willing to tell the whole world what I do because I'm proud of what I do. And ask yourself, are you willing to tell the whole world what you do on a daily basis? And if not, then if you're not proud enough to see who you are, because that's who you are. And if you're not proud to say who you are and what you do, then understand there's areas in your life that you must work on. Because that man will go after more things in life than the man that is scared of telling people what he actually does. Strive to be better today than you were yesterday. Much love and God bless you.